because they did something is still free attacks because they did something.
Exactly.
So, all right.
Fun.
Yeah. You know it.
Oh yeah, but so when I get to level 3, I will be taking a casting tradition. Well, actually, no. I already. Do I start with? No, I'll start with casting tradition because of empowered. So yeah, my casting tradition is the sorcerer's blood, but subtradition wildborn. So I have a bound creature that gives me my my magic. Like
Is it going to be a
cat
Trask?
thing.
God damn it.
What's that do this time?
No.
You know,
This is a
it's
Mike thing.
this is
He did it again.
It's a cat thing, you know, got like a big fluffy
He
weird
takes
tail
my
to look
goddamn
at.
creatures and he uses them as goddamn batteries.
Oh no, you know.
You just gotta promise him one thing: you cannot eat your cat.
No, it's my familiar.
All right.
So we don't get to put a Trask in a jar?
No. This is different.
Yeah. Anyways.
At least not
But,
yet.
Not yet.
Knowing Mike, it'll happen.
And, you know.
Life finds a way.
Oh no, I'd have to ask you if it could be a cat thing. I can only choose from crawling claw. I don't know how that is. Imp, a pseudo dragon, a closet, or a sprite.
Oh, thank God it doesn't give you anything stupid.
No, I was just gonna go for a cat.
Yeah, that's fine. That is 100% acceptable. Okay, so I have the rest of the NPCs organized out.
So I've got an idea for the character concept. Okay, Ethan. Since I'm the mayor of the town.
Yep.
I automatically see myself dressed up in pseudo suits that I can beat the shit out of anyone who steps out of line.
Fun.
So
back in my head, this concept just said, this reminds me of like the Daredevil Kingpin from the original Daredevil movie.
okay, so like Kingpin. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Are you freak? Yeah, you are 8 feet tall, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So to get you guys into an opener of the situation here, you guys are leadership within your township, per se. Specifically, Frank, your character is the mayor as of current times and regime. Through political vices and power and control, you've been able to position yourself as a friend to the people of this township and to leverage your position and power to hold you as the most esteemed person within public opinion. From those political vices, however, you are very much in conjunction and work with Mike's character. A ownership of the outskirts farmlands and mines that produce a lot of the workflow that comes into your township. He is the owner of majority of the wealth and funding that goes around here. But doesn't necessarily have control over political matters, but definitely significantly influences them with his wealth and money. A recent up-and-comer within your town is somebody who is Data's character, an inventor of the local township, who has provided tools for the ability of easier farm work and better completion of it with a unique fertilization system, as well as equipment for further mining opportunities to be able to dig deeper, farther, and collect much more valuable minerals.
I did it for the money. No.
There's nothing wrong with that.
So I can invest in actual. No.
At the moment, you are currently all located at a local soiree gathering at Town Hall. Majority of local commoners, as well as small business owners and other people of known renown within the town. Your town is not a relatively large place, but significant enough in size to warrant organized conjunctions like these. At a population of somewhere around 5,000 people, you have a good size to your position and basis. The local surrounding area is a bit of cracked earth towards the northwestern side that has cragged mountains that have been dug and sunk into with levels of mining that have been improved over recent generations, thanks to Data's help.
Yeah.
In addition to that, towards the easternly portion of it, large swaths of farmland dot the incoming inlets of your valley side township. Leading from there leads to the greater world and other cities outward.
Okay.
At the local soiree and gathering, you are amongst other fellow entrepreneurs, people who own small businesses, and other adventuring types of renown and prestige enough to warrant themselves an invitation. As the mayor of the town, Frank, you've been gathered there to begin a speech.
Speech.
So, how do you want to address your people?
Greetings, my wonderful. I hope you are having a splendid night tonight.
You hear one guy from the very back of the crowd go, "Oh yeah!"
Yeah.
It's wonderful to hear. Now, we will begin a toast to you all. For without you, this town is nothing but a barren husk. You should all look at each other and congratulate each other for what fine work you do to progress the harmony and profit of our wonderful town.
You hear a round of applause and slight cheering as everybody raises a glass in kind of joyous ceremony with you. After doing so, the party begins to lull back into its normal steam of pace. People are enjoying the light music in the background while having food and drink and mulling about in different places. You, however, remove yourself back to your office, where you see sitting in your office at the moment, Mike.
Assassin.
Mike, you're there for a particular reason. You have had a few incidents with local enforcement and laws that have been digging into your profits, per se.
I am. Is this through the? I'm not a business inheritor. I'm the noble.
Oh yeah, these are your lands. You're a noble. You have title in township. You own those lands.
Okay.
But it's digging into your wealth, per se.
How is it digging into my wealth?
Because the constrictions of the mining principles, you're not getting the taxes that you want. You feel you need a bigger cut, and you want to discuss that with your local mayor at the moment.
Oh, you're saying I don't believe they're giving me my fair share for. Well, they're not paying me well enough for the use of my land.
Yes.
Mm. Mm.
What are we paying him?
So
What? Basically, yeah. What am I being paid, and what am I thinking? What am I knowing coming out of the mines that I'm thinking I should be paid more?
at the moment, for post revenue from the sale of any merchant goods coming out at the moment, you take a percentage for the land rights and the transportation through the land that you currently own. You're taking a percentage of about 42% profit. Not considering margin for cost or anything like that. Yeah,
maintenance of like roads, making sure everything's all good.
Yeah, because that still falls upon you per se, because it is your land.
Mm-hmm.
So you're taking about 42%. You feel it should be a little bit higher, maybe a 50-50 cut. Or more. That's for you to decide. But at the same time, you're also greeted by another person who steps in right behind you. Data entering the room. Data, the reason why you're there is you have a project to present. Specifically a particular invention that might be able to help with mining resources, and you want to get both the township and the landowner on board to being able to purchase and utilize this equipment in a way that is profitable for you. You recently developed a type of tracker to be able to detect specific minerals in the ground to locate, specifically for residuum.
So kind of like a ground sonar sort of thing?
Yeah, essentially.
I go, hello.
Gentlemen, the party is out there. This is my private office.
Actually, this character will be a female.
Female. Okay.
I will get people more on my character. I was very lazy and still didn't like entirely line it up.
Right.
I'm assuming we would all know each other's names, being players as like big players as we are.
Yeah,
So,
you're all very well aware of that.
So you would know. I'm gonna copy and paste this name.
Oh, a name. Oh.
My name is Mayor Archibald.
I'm fairly certain you would have a first name unless you Mr. T'd that.
My friends call me Archie.
You Mr. T'd that. So I wouldn't really introduce myself as of nobility. I would assume you do.
So specifically, your title in terms of nobility is you are a countess.
I'm still like a countess. I have my proper respect to be given.
Mm-hmm. So you have Mayor Archie. You have Countess. What is the name?
Serafina del Riviera, or Sarah for most people.
Countess, you honor me with your presence, but I'm afraid you must be confused.
I'll have nodded to the presence.
Outside, not inside my office.
No, but business is done better behind doors.
I agree. What type of business do we?
giving a side eye at the Warforge in the room, still unannounced and what he wants.
Well,
I look back at I don't know if I want to be speaking amongst everyone here. What are you doing here, friend?
As soon as you say that, and Data, what is your character's name?
It is Data Data again.
Okay.
Okay, you just remade the character.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright.
I mean, technically, he could still be alive.
Yeah.
This would just be a new incarnation of him.
Yeah, this Data is significantly more advanced in the social lingo of speaking with other people.
Yeah, he's had a couple generations to upgrade his software.
No, it's Crying Sons. You see, there's like a lot of robot bodies. They're all called Data. It's when one Data dies, another one turns on, and is released out into the world.
Yeah, it's a grand mass conspiracy to take over the world with one Data at a time.
That's beautiful.
So essentially, it's like a higher level warlock that basically reincarnates himself.
So as you, Mayor Archie, are approaching your desk to sit down and begin to discuss this intrusion and address the figures in the room, you are also entered by two other people who, as they come in, lock the door behind them. You immediately recognize them as your advisors. All of you recognize who these people are. This is the township advisor and the political advisor to the Countess and the mayor. There's also a third person who was standing over towards the corner you might have not quite noticed originally, but is the business advisor of Data's. You're familiar with these people because they usually interact with each other. They're like your underwrites or secretaries for the most part.
Mine?
Yeah, your business advisor.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. He's like your lawyer, essentially, too.
The guy who does the stuff that I don't want to do.
Yeah, he does the paperwork.
Yeah.
And he deals with
noodle.
basically bad noodle.
Except like competent.
Yeah, except for very competent. Yeah, a very competent bad noodle. But the three of them are present in the room now, and specifically the first person to speak up is the political advisor for Archie. He says, "Sir, my name is Franklin, if you don't remember. I know it's been a long night of a lot of drinking. Allow me to introduce myself to everyone here. I don't think I've formally been introduced to you, sir. Data, correct?"
Yes, that is affirmative.
Yes. Franklin Archer.
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you too. I am the political advisor for Mayor Archie here. We here have all been in discussion about some events. Obviously, we all have business to take care of here, but I would like to relay some information that may be relevant to some of our most major players within the capital region.
I'm giving him a very displeased look.
Countess, you see that your advisor per se is there as well. Her name is Elizabeth. Elizabeth Taylor. She is a family advisor to nobleship, usually in the form of arcanum and such. She is a magical advisor per se, but her repertoire also pertains to political vices and other determinations of the court. Elizabeth steps over to you and says, "Count, I understand your displeasure at this sudden greeting over the terms of business, but it is important."
I'll kind of like grab her shoulder and turn her. to the side,
Mm-hmm.
talking a little more softly. I am not, but still like very firm. I have not been given my proper respects from that man, and you should remember.
Off with his head.
I understand, Countess. I will endeavor to elect that commoners give you such respect, but in dire straits like these, court formalities are not in a court setting.
I'll have like just a little bit of pout, not like actual pout, but just like that pursed kind of lip, and I'll give a nod and release your shoulder, looking back at the group, still mildly displeasure.
And Franklin says, there is a situation to understand, a political ramification as well as a court liberating one, that is affecting all of our businesses at the moment. A discussion of the hierarchy of this is important because the ownership of our town is in question. And our legal sovereignty and standing. He lays out a map before everybody. And Data, your business advisor, steps up. Your business advisor is a interesting person. Not a warforged or anybody of magical means. He seems to be a fairly average-looking individual. A suave, black haircut that is slicked back in somewhat of a pompadour style, wearing a tailor-made suit that fits almost a little too cleanly in some places. Nearly a nair hair is out of place on this guy. I have not introduced myself. My name is Suave Magov. I am the lawyer and business advisor for Mr. Data here. If you would allow me to spell out the situation here, I have an interesting point to make, as recent events have alluded towards a disturbing recollection by all of us that concerns all three of you in this matter. Pointing to the map, you can see now a collection of cities that have been marked on it. You see a city towards the westernly direction. Just past the mountain range. On the near other side, located by a river bend that circles around and outward. You know this to be a place called Congrua. A recently liberated city from an oppressed capital of a tyrannical regime. A lord there, per se, decided to go from feudal court systems to being a rogue noble, per se. Taking his city and his livelihood and locking it in and oppressing his people. Recently, new leadership has arisen and has rejoined the court system, and new blood has been enacted in the city. Propagated what you do believe to be by a local thieves guild. But recent land ownership has been in contestment, as of recently, as inheritors of the previous land of local natives have been trying to reclaim their spots in that city. It is in turmoil and a mess towards the west. You see it is marked on the map. Towards a northeasternly direction, you can see another marking. A mage city, the city of Magi. Named for the fact that it has a very large academic community there that propagates under Magica Tech Systems, a industrial giant for magical development and machinery. Commonly known as the city of the underground gnomes, sometimes, as they seem to be the subjugated propagator workers of that industry. for both their mechanical knowledge and skill, as well as their willingness to put themselves in the position of being overworked. It is also known for being a brokerage for all kinds of money to be lended out to upstart nobles, to weapons manufacturers, and other entrepreneurs of different kinds. But you see the city is marked on the map as well. The city of Magi. Towards the southerly direction, you see a city that you are all very familiar with, and a place you may have visited once or twice in your lifetime, given the chance. It is known as Ogmed. The city of Ogmed is a city of old money, a long-established hierarchy of nobles that have existed there for a long time. It is dominated by its popular circuit of gladiatorial events, as well as a great starting place for old blood to be able to develop new talent. Often new entrepreneurs and other upstart nobles tend to come from there as beginning roots that are usually safer and more intrinsically valued in the court system. A place to get jobs and work, usually. A very old and faithful city is marked on the map as well. You can see very, very, very far to the east, though, a place known as Outward. The city of Outward. The city of Outward is a weird niche place. It is located in a crossroads of different bisecting dimensions, per se, where you can often find cosmic events going on there. It is a homogeneous place of magic. Oftentimes you find a lot of transporters there, people who are smuggling goods from one area of the world to another, as well as a niche market of different variable goods and foreign adventures. It's often home to devils, however, though, too. Often contract devils that entice and envelop people into their mind games and use them as props to be able to kind of stick at people in greater parts of the world. It is a burgeoning city that is oddly out of place in many ways. And finally, to the far northeast, you see another city that you don't quite all recognize, but you've heard of the name before. Helmgata? Helmgata is a city that you can only guess has to do with the religious cult of Helm. Based on the fact that its symbol on the map alone is a symbol of Helm itself. But you see it is also marked on the map. The most you know about it is a religious fanatic place, a gathering point for those of Helm, as it is believed to be the standing point where the bridge of the universe that led beyond the divine gate used to be, as a belief system-wise. But you see that all 5 of these places have been marked on the map, and yours being near dead center to all of them. Suave speaks up again. So as you can see here, we have 5 cities that, particularly we have some advances from them that seem to be questioning our sovereignty at the moment. Attempts from Ogmed are attempting to circumvent certain court regulations in terms of devaluing the ownership and land rights to the Countess's claim here on these lands. In addition to that, Congra has been incited in ideas that it is a potential they could attack our city, as they've been emboldened by lack of resources and developing issues that they need to conquer in order to continue to strive. As they've destroyed most of their own land and their populace is in disarray. We've also gotten word that Magi has sent agents to audit Mr. Data's particular business in congruency that he may have stolen copyrighted information from them and has been committing corporate espionage. In addition to that, and probably the most odd one I've seen so far, is that there is a believed contract out having to do with a transporter who claimed that a contract devil had signed a pact with Mayor Archie that needs to be fulfilled at the cost of somewhere near 100,000 gold pieces. In addition to that, and probably the one that has been most disputed by all of us, and for some reason they won't let it go, is the religious zealots of Helm have decided that part of our capital that we're located in, we have been sitting on a relic that they wish to excavate. And we can't authorize the rights to it because supposedly it is under the Countess's castle. Under your estate, ma'am. Franklin speaks up again. Yeah, so, I mean, the issue here is... Yes, I'm going to change his accent every time now.
Makes sense.
So the issue here is that all these different cities have been making claims against us that are either fraudulent or irreputable in some way, shape, or form, but we have no good way to go about dealing with them in a respectable manner, per se. So we need to figure out a way to tackle these issues one by one, either by sending agents out to solve different issues and gather information and collect intelligence, and dealing directly with some of them first, as obviously different things will be on different schedules. We're going to have to figure out what we need to do about all these different situations. Elizabeth speaks up. And in accordance with that, we will have to attend in about 3 months' time a court meeting and gathering for the winter ball. So it is important that we handle some of the conflict resolution as quickly as possible to allow for better standing within the court before the time passes for our ability to leverage our rank proponently. I would give the floor to the Countess then.
I'll look around the room, and we all have been. Our names have been absconded. These are just upstarts. We will deal with them swiftly and mercilessly. If they mean to attack our town, we will show that there'll be no quarter, and if they come through the law, show them we're better. I have a way of saying better, but just kind of like nod at that. There's not a lot that we actually know.
Franklin then says, Mayor Archie, you got anything to add?
I would prepare our battlements. We're going to
Woo-wee! Sounds like a damn good time. And Suave then says, Data, do you have anything to add to this?
They keep bringing back that old copyright claim thing. They don't realize that I don't age.
Well, sounds like we have some things to deal with here. Why don't we, since we're aware of the situation now, set up a meeting time for us to discuss this more thoroughly with, our thoughts collected and less liquor involved. How does that sound? I'll set it up for a schedule.
I'll give a nod.
Make it so.
All right, how about tomorrow here around just past sunrise, about 2 hours after?
Sounds adequate.
Doable.
Alrighty then. We'll see you then. If you don't mind, enjoy the party. I don't want it to put too much of a hamper on anything here. But we'll get this handled. We'll get it handled, all right? Yeah, I think I'm gonna stick to that voice for Franklin.
Sounds good.
All right. With that, since it is now like 1 in the morning, I will pause it there.
Okay.
So, what? So, this campaign is set in the same world as the other one?
No problem. All right. Say again.
So this world is set in the same world as the other one?
This is a different world.
Different world? Okay.
This is a different world. This is a totally separate space.
Because I was gonna say, because it'd be pretty cool if I was actually the same character, just 3,000 or like 300 years later.
Yeah, no, this is a separate world in a different multiverse. This is congruent with the timeline, but in a different universe.
Cool. Because I was gonna go back to my laboratory or whatever like that. It's like there's like a picture of Merrick on my shelf. As memories.
So, what do you guys think of the plot so far? Just
Pretty cool. I like all the connections already.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't dig it.
I actually put a lot of forethought into this one.
It shows. Cool, dude. Yeah.
So when we come back next time, we will be able to get into the first bits of the actual campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And of course, we can all